We're the last of the iconoclasts. No mean podcast. This podcast is brought to you by Volition-Scotland. Go to volition-scotland.org for more information on this community arts project. If you live in the Glasgow area and you're interested in hip-hop culture, interested in making music, you're interested in film, art, or you just want to drop in and have a chat with some like-minded creative people, volition-scotland.org, go to the email section, get in touch with one of the good people there. We're always looking for new people to interact with. It's a growing, expanding thing. So yeah, let's get into the podcast this week. One of the most interesting characters I've had. We did the interview a few weeks ago via telephone, so I apologise if any of this is out of date. But such an interesting guy, Fabrizio Federico, the self-proclaimed king of underground cinema, and it's hard to argue with that. His first film, Black Biscuit, is up for free on YouTube now, but it's been making its rounds at the film festivals for about the last year. He shot it entirely on mobile phones, funded it himself, starred in it, edited it, and what he's trying to push with it is a new style of filmmaking. And it's one that I've adopted for my first feature film, which is currently in production. He's certainly someone who's definitely intent on redefining the art form of film and what it is to be an artist in general. And we had a real good conversation, so let's get into it. We're on the podcast with Fabrizio Federico. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing real good.
So I'll just start things off by saying I watched Black Biscuit the other week. Watched it before it got taken down from YouTube, fucking bastards. Loved it, man. Really, seriously, so good to see cunts are still making films like this, like real sort of balls to the wall, punk cinema. Not seen a film quite like that in a good few years.
Thanks a lot.
I know you're probably sick of getting asked this question, but for anyone who's not seen it, like, how would you sum it up?
Sum it up. Let's see. I don't see it as just a regular film where you sit down and have a bag of popcorn and you just want to you forget about the world. It's more like you're going on a trip, and I just want people to kind of have just see it on like more of a allegorical level, more like philosophical. Like you go on a spiritual journey, and you see these people struggling with their souls, and it's almost like a never-ending daydream, and you have like an epiphany at the end. It doesn't really matter what type of epiphany, just as long as you kind of walk away different. And I just wanted to wipe out professionalism and like recreate like a new art form. I don't know. I'm not really into commerce.
Yeah, I can kind of tell that from watching the film. There's a lot. I mean, there's so much. There are so many different sort of themes in it, and it's not just about one thing. And I got the impression that I could watch it now and get one interpretation from it, and then maybe if I watch it in 5 years' time, when I've changed as a person a bit, I'll get a total other different thing from it.
That's exactly how I see the film, which is great because you can only watch like, for example, I don't know, like Jaws.
Yeah.
I don't think you could watch Jaws every single day and enjoy it. After a while, it'd just be like having like a Big Mac or something. It wouldn't have the same flavor. But God knows what it's going to be like seeing like over the times, and it's more for people that are on the edge, who think differently. It's like cinema for the different.
Yeah, I totally get that, and I'm not just saying this because I'm trying to like propel your manifesto, the Pink8 Manifesto, which we'll get into a little bit later. Because this is what I thought was brilliant about it is, as I was watching it, as like, there's no way you can teach people to make films like that. Like, you couldn't have been taught to make a film like that. You just went out and you made it, and it became this very strange and unique thing that if someone else had made a film on those terms, it would be a totally different animal, totally different experience.
Yeah, I've always kind of been like that. Even when I went to, I used to be in school. I just don't believe what people tell me a lot of the times. When it comes to facts and how you should feel, because everybody should feel different. It shouldn't be like a Brave New World, type of society where everyone has to think the same.
Yeah. Totally.
I guess I see myself more as like a dream artist. I don't know. I've got a bit of an uneasiness about like traditions in society. Sometimes it feels like an unreal world. You get bombarded so much with advertising and those types of things. It's tough to shut off.
Definitely. Well, I guess taking it back to before you made this film, because you'd had no formal training at all in cinema, and from what I can tell, very much like myself, you didn't want to have any kind of formal training, because I totally agree with you. I think it produces just so much homogeny.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But so what kind of this? I mean, this is a film. It's kind of like a meta story. It's a film about a struggling guy trying to make a film, in the midst of all kinds of shit going on around him. Where were you when you first conceived of this idea? When you first thought, right, I'm gonna save my money and I'm gonna go and I'm gonna make this.
When I got sent back from America because of immigration, so I've been banned from America for a number of years, 8 years. I've got a few more years left on the ban, and I've always I used to do music when I lived in America. I never did any film, and when I came to the UK, I wanted to have like a brand new start, and I'm like, okay, I might as well express myself differently. Instead of doing music, I'll do film, and I saw a lot of beauty. I always do. I almost see myself a bit of. You seen American Beauty?
I've not. No.
There's this kid in American Beauty who goes around and he films like plastic bags floating around.
Oh yeah,
in the
I've heard
wind.
of that. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a bit like that guy actually. I see beauty in everyday life. I don't see why you should reenact it with a few actors. I think that's the most interesting bit of the film is the spontaneity of what happened just to random people that I met, and because it's great when you got a camera, people act differently anyway. So you're not exactly getting the truth, but little things happen. It's like a spark plug. It just causes natural drama.
Yeah.
If it was in a room of like 8 people and a camera was there and it was filming, people would be differently, or if it was hidden, that type of feeling. And little things just happen like that. I find it really interesting.
So did you when you started filming people, like you'd be in rooms or you'd be at concerts or whatever, and things would happen and you'd start filming them? Did you start filming with the mind to be like, right, I'm going to make a feature film out of this, or did you just start like filming things and then it kind of came together?
No, I decided I wanted to make a feature film, and I just started taking my camera out whenever I'd see an interesting situation or meet an interesting person. Like the concert riot. Mm-hmm. You can feel when a riot's going to happen, and that was a bit of it. But it went fucking mad. Limp Biscuit were playing, and what were they playing? I think they were playing Rolling, and they've had a few. I mean, come on, what happened in Woodstock in 1999 when Limp Bizkit played? They've just got that. Yeah, they've just got that effect on big crowds. People just want to lose themselves. But some people, when they lose themselves, they get violent. That's another form of when you're beating someone up, you're lost yourself. You're not in the same frame of mind, and it's the film has got loads of different feelings, which I like. It's like you're pressing loads of buttons.
Yeah, that's interesting, man. So you're just going about and you're recording all these different bits and pieces, and you said you wanted to make it a feature. So did you go out with an aim to record things to sort of be like, right, this is where it fits in this part of the movie, and this will fit in this part of the story, and because there is a story to it, there is a structure.
Yeah. I mean, some of the scenes I did set up, you can obviously tell that, but that was just kind of like to make the journey kind of flow, because otherwise it just would be. You got to have like a bit of something to say, and I wanted to kind of like explore the misfits of society. That's why I targeted like homeless people and prostitutes. I wanted to explore people that don't live by the rules. Society is full of people like that, but they just don't have a voice. They don't have much of a voice, and nobody hears about them. And then what happens is later on down the line, historians, because my girlfriend's a historian, so I'm always hearing about how historians see the past. They're almost like the barbarians of society, and that's how they get portrayed, you know, like the working class. I see myself as almost like classless because I've lived in so many different countries. Now, I don't belong to any class. I'm like a stranger. Everywhere I live, I'm a stranger. I can't fit in anywhere. And I just wanted to give these people a voice.
I think that's really sort of noble that you're doing that, because that's something that's even Hollywood films that tackle the kind of issues that you're tackling. I mean, issues like homelessness and prostitution and things like that. They do it from a very contrived perspective. Like, one of the worst films I think that's come out in the last few years is, have you ever seen the film Precious?
No, what's that about?
It's like this, do you know the black female comedian Monique?
Oh, is it about the black girl who's really overweight?
Yeah.
Yeah, I never saw that, but I know the one you're talking about now, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, it was described quite accurately as being poverty porn. And it totally is. Like, this black chick, she's pregnant because she got raped by her father and all this, and it's like, and then she has to steal food even though she's massively obese, which doesn't make sense. And then it's like, and it comes at it from such a horrible angle. And you know, they filmed this in New York. Like, they could have just turned the camera over onto the streets and found 1 million people like that. But it's, I mean, why do you think that is? Do you think the system's kind of set up in a way to not give voices to these people?
I think the problem is that at the moment we put on society that we have to win prizes. Mm-hmm. So a film like that is obviously, it's going to get an Oscar nod. It's almost like there's these films these days where you can tailor make it to win an Oscar or to get recognition in a way, and they're never truthful. I mean, I like Forrest Gump mainly because of the soundtrack, but how many Oscars did that? You know, I mean, if I wanted to like make a film like that where I'd get a shot at an Oscar, or I'd be like featured as in like magazines and like win like the Nobel Peace Prize, I'd make a film on like a retarded slave. You know, it's like you can tailor make these films, and they're not truthful.
Yeah.
A documentary is more truthful. A documentary should win an Oscar, not features.
Totally, man.
Not features with scripts, especially.
Well, this is something I've found, like the last short I did, and Dimension Zero, the Pink8 film that I'm making. Obviously haven't had scripts, and I just find it such a better way of working, because I've never gone to film school, but I was quite heavily involved in the film community where I live in Glasgow for quite a while, and everybody is very industry minded, even though there's no industry here really. Everybody's like, right, okay, let's get together, let's write a script, let's do a pre-production meeting, right, let's get all the people in, let's get a separate sound and lighting guy and all this, and it's like, it's so needless. Because
it's not real.
Exactly. And even like most of my film has contrived scenes, but all of it's just like I got the people together that I knew would be cool to have on camera, and just
I know what you mean.
Let them go, just let them play. That's it.
Yeah, because the scenes where I actually like sat down and were like, oh, we're gonna do this the movie way, the industry way. That was done tongue in cheek. That was almost like a piss take of how people actually make the movies, and you can tell the difference. It's like the scenes where I actually we actually sat down and we're like, oh yeah, let's get this angle and let's get that. That's almost like it looks void compared to the stuff that I got by chance on the streets.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was kind of like, it was a mockery of how people actually make movies. It's all these stereotypes. Every audience is made up of stereotypes. It's got the clown, you got the poet, you got the smart artist, in the audience. All these different stereotypes. Everyone's different from day to day. I don't see why movies should be made like that, focusing on stereotypes. I get asked a lot of the time, how can you go up to these people and talk to them?
Mm-hmm.
And I just find that incredible that people think like that. Everybody's the same. Everybody's kind of made up of the same, not experiences, but the same mindset. They're not stupid people. They just express themselves differently.
Absolutely. I had a really good experience filming some of the homeless people in Glasgow for this film, and a lot of the footage, probably most of the footage, actually isn't even going to make into the film. But I felt like it was something that I had to do. I felt like I had to go out and just go up to people and just ask them things, and ask there was one guy that I talked about this on a previous podcast. There was one guy I found, that homeless guy had one leg, and I was interviewing him and I was filming it, and about halfway into the interview I just thought, right, fuck it, I'm going for it, and said, right, okay, how did you lose your leg, if you don't mind me asking? And he says, I had that necrotizing fasciitis, skin eating disease. Basically, I shot up into it so much they had to amputate it. And I was like,
you see what I mean? Yeah. That's just poetry, isn't it, when you hear about those experiences?
Absolutely. What do you... Because this is a criticism. A lot of directors... doing things like this aren't necessarily new. A lot of directors have done this before, like Harmony Korine's done stuff like this a bunch, Werner Herzog. And they had criticism levelled against them that they were being sort of exploitative of these people. They were, using these people's stories to sort of benefit their own goals. Have you ever had anything like that put to you? Has anyone ever accused you of being exploitative?
I don't believe it. I think the news exploits people more than filmmakers. Come on, you're asking their permission.
Yeah,
and they know what they're doing. And it's real life. How can you exploit real life? You can't. It's ridiculous. I think, what do you say, Harmony Korine and Werner Herzog, they're fantastic directors, and people like us are all cut from the same cloth, and we're like the truth bearers. We're like the saints of the artistic world, because we're doing it for the right reasons. There's no other way to really see it. You're not a critic. You are a deep thinker, and this is a great interview, for example.
Thank you.
There's a lot of people out there with the wrong idea of how art should be seen and how life should be seen, and I don't really care for it. I don't care for trolls and people like that. It's just ridiculous. Yeah. It's like, just get on with your life and stop going around criticizing artwork. I was speaking to this rapper yesterday, and he was telling me, he was talking about that he had he's been threatened a few times with guns, and this is over his music. You threaten someone? What you say you're going to shoot someone because of a fucking song? Yeah,
absolutely.
It's ridiculous how some people take art and film. It's very petty, and people should just move on with their lives. Get over it, and get over yourself.
That's a fantastic message, man. That's great. Definitely, I very much agree with you. But I think this is I think you're a figure who has that power to really annoy people. And
it's great. It's funny because I'm not trying to annoy anyone, and I don't think people that usually get accused of being annoying and want to go out and annoy people. You're just showing them something, aren't you? I think it has to do with something inside them that they feel this way. I chat to loads of different people about society, and everyone's on a different plane. It's almost like, I don't know. How old are you?
I'm 23.
You're 23. I'm 29, and I don't know what reality is anymore. I really don't.
You know what? I kind of understand what you mean. one of the biggest things I've taken from shooting this film is I do things like I just go out into Glasgow town centre and at 3:00 on a Friday, Saturday morning, whatever, when the clubs were just emptying out and everybody's pissed and falling about, and film things there. And one of the things I realised is if I was going into a town, not just Glasgow but any big town, I'd have somewhere to go. Like, I'd be like, right, I'm going to this venue, I'm going to see this band, or I'm going to meet this person, we're going to go to this pub or whatever. I'd never really gone into a big town and just wandered around. Like, I'd always been just head down, just getting somewhere. I'd never wandered, looked at the buildings, looked at the people. And I think a lot of people get stuck in that mode. Like, as you were saying, like, their reality could be just like getting up every morning, going to work, come back, watch TV, go to bed, repeat the cycle. And
completely.
And I think a lot of people in that sense don't really know what reality is.
Yeah, like a good reality would be some like a world without clocks or money or like lawyers. I mean, can you imagine a world without lawyers? It'd be so much more better, and yeah, I don't know, dogma or morals and things like that. But the best place to go is the desert. If you go to like a desert and it hits you when you go back, from the desert into society again, and you see people scurrying around like little mice, and it's I don't know, it's a double-edged sword how we live in these days, with like Facebook and Twitter and YouTube. We've got a lot of information, but we've also lost ourselves, like how to just go about and live. It's I don't know what the repercussions are going to be. I just think everywhere will be a ghost town because everyone will be inside. Because when I was little, I used to see kids playing outside all the time, and I used to play outside all the time as well. And you don't see that as much anymore. For example, people are inside playing video games and doing things like that.
Yeah, totally. Well, I mean, you mentioned being in the desert, and it was a nice segue because I know you're working on a film at the moment that you shot in the desert in Spain. Do we want to talk about that a lot? Because that sounds really interesting.
Oh yeah, I think I might call it Pregnant.
Any reason behind that title?
I just like the imagery that goes with it.
Yeah.
It could be I don't know, a pregnant woman, a pregnant pause, pregnant anything, pregnant life. And I went to Spain to this like a commune called Sunseed. They're out in the desert, Charles Manson style researching.
Right.
And I just wanted to kind of like go down the highway and see what happened. And it's going to be every film that I do, I want to kind of like tackle a different state of mind. So this time I want to like tackle the state of mind that being away from technology and society. I'm kind of like stuck in that mentality at the moment.
All right.
But Black Biscuit was more about being a part of society. Just like delving knees deep in society, like kind of like if you go in swimming, jump into the pool of society and meet every type of person out there. But I wanted to show misfits characters, but this time I want it to be more like perceptive of how each person is dealing with the world.
So how did you find this like religious cult in Spain? How did you manage to even get in contact with them?
Yeah, they're not really religious.
Right.
I mean, they were a bit more into conspiracy theories. I'm a bit biased about conspiracy theories myself, but like, for example, I don't know, I'm a bit fascinated with the whole Kennedy conspiracy.
All right.
9/11, I am dubious about it. I mean, I have seen that video of where all these little explosions are going down the Twin Towers.
That's scary as fuck, man. Like, it's not even those little explosions, but just the fact that when you look at the buildings were hit in the top third, and normally, if like from an engineering standpoint, there was a group of I think it was like the American Association of Architects and Engineers made this like 2-hour-long talking heads documentary where they basically said, it's really boring, but it's kind of interesting at the same time. Like they basically just broke it down just from an engineering standpoint. A building hit with a top third impact like that is not going to it's not going to fall.
It couldn't happen.
No, the top might fall off it, but it's not going to fall just straight down. And also, apparently, the buildings fell at an accelerated rate, like an implosion. It's really, the facts don't add up. And I'm not saying that I know it's the government and the Illuminati did it and all this shit. I'm not saying that I know that. I'm just saying there's inconsistencies.
There's bigger things out there than what's being told to us, and it's the smart people realise that, but they're not hiding anything. They always get caught, don't they?
Yeah,
they always get caught. Anyway,
that's
so
true.
What's the difference? I mean, we'll probably never know the truth, but we're not blind either. Yeah. This whole presidential election, Romney and Obama. I used to work for Romney.
What?
Honestly, when I was about from 18 to 20, I used to do his sound. So he'd go to press conferences and stuff, and we'd do his sound.
Serious?
I've got this photo. Yeah. I've got a photo somewhere. I've got a Christmas photo, and it was really strange. It was almost like being around the Nazis at the beginning.
What's he like?
Well, I used to work. I live in Massachusetts, in Boston, and that's where he used to be governor. But it's very uniform, because of the whole, because of his religion. He's got Mormons all around him.
Yeah, it's Mormon.
And, I'm a Catholic, but I don't really give a fuck about religion. I'm more into, my own mystical ideas and stuff like that. I don't really care about the whole dogma behind it. But these guys believe him, and they see him as a lord and as a religious figure. So it's a bit like that. And I'm sure if, the leader of the Mormon religion called him up one day, and he could talk him around into doing anything.
That's what's man.
It's a bit scary, but
it's definitely scary.
Obama won.
Oh well, there you go.
I'll send you the photo. It's a funny photo, actually.
I'd love to see that. I might make that the photo that I put up on Mixcloud.
If you want. I don't know. But I'm glad he didn't win.
Oh,
just get that across.
Yeah, definitely. It's weird to think. I think most people wouldn't like to think that religion affects politics as much as it probably does. Like when you look at Tony Blair's reasoning for the war, for supporting the war in Iraq as much as he did, all of it just comes from the fact that he was a Roman Catholic and the fact that he I think there was one quote where he said he prayed for guidance and he was given a message that it was the right thing to do, stuff like this. So much of these big decisions, and with Cameron's, I think a Christian at least. I don't think we've had a leader that's refuted religion at all. So it's, a lot of it is quite deeply entangled. It's quite scary when you think about it.
You can't escape it, though. You really can't escape it because it's embedded in you. How you were raised as a child, it's embedded in you. I don't know. Politics are a religion in themselves, aren't they? If you really look at it, democracy. They run the same thing. You just have to be smart enough to pick what you feel is right for yourself. That's how people should live. I'm a pretty happy-go-lucky. I guess I see myself as a happy-go-lucky guy. I do think deeply about things, but I'm pretty freewheeling, and I don't know. I guess I've just got flashes of tragedy going through my life, but I also have really happy times as well. And Black Biscuit is a happy film. It's a happy film, and it's kind of like a dreamy film. There's negative aspects in there, but you can laugh at negative aspects.
It's weird, man, because it's got really dark tones to it. Obviously, there's scenes with hookers and bondage mistresses and horrible acts that I don't even really want to talk about in the podcast.
Exorcism.
All that shit. But at the end, you do feel kind of uplifted. I guess it's just because you do have this sort of tongue-in-cheek nature about you as well, and your performance is very comedic. I'd say I enjoyed your performance a lot, man. For somebody,
thanks. I don't really see myself as an actor, really.
Yeah,
I just kind of wanted to capture the feeling of how you are in your early 20s. Like, you know, you're just like, you're still a bit of an eggshell, aren't you? You're still kind of like finding yourself in the world, and when it comes to like finding opportunities at that age, it's like you're grabbing for straws almost, and that's what the character's doing. He's got nothing going for him, that character, and there's a lot of people kind of like out there who are at the crossroads in life, and it's a little tough to figure out which way to go when you're in your early 20s.
Yeah, I'm in my early 20s, so you don't have to tell me, man.
You know exactly what I mean.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's what happened in America. I was in that situation where you're not allowed to work, and you know, because of citizenship and all that, you're not allowed to work over there. So you have to kind of like make money the only way you can. And you know, when you're a guy in your early 20s, you know, you got your mojo and all that. That's a very nice way of making money. You know, it's tough. Like what I used to do is I used to stay at people's houses and couch surf in the city, you know, in Boston. I'm not very good at staying away from vice, like sex and drugs. I mean, they make me happy.
It's a lot of fun.
Is that a bad thing? I don't know if that's a bad thing, but if it makes you happy, I don't think... A lot of it can be bad for you, but that's kind of up to you to know when to pull away.
Yeah, I think it's a weird one, man. It's I think certain people just can't do it. Like the first guy I ever interviewed for the podcast is a filmmaker by the name of David Graham Scott, who I should forward you his films. He's amazing. He was a heroin addict for 17 years, and like he filmed himself detoxing on a hallucinogenic drug called Ibogaine, where he was tripping for 24 hours and had a complete physical purge. And it's a brutal film. He also made a film called Little Criminals. I think you'd really like it. He basically filmed... This is when he was sort of on methadone. He was kind of clean. And he filmed all his heroin addict mates just going about stealing things and then selling them in pubs. And but he relapsed while he was making the film because he was around heroin so much. But his theory was certain people are just predisposed to addiction.
Yeah, I mean, heroin and crack, I've never tried heroin and crack, and I never will. You got to stay away from that shit, because that's just a ball and chain. You don't get no epiphany, you don't get creative, you lose all your energy. That shit is not good for you. I've got no problem against like weed and acid and things like that. Yeah, totally. But as I said, you gotta try it, but not get swollen by it, because it will fucking swell you up. Anything can, chocolate can.
Yeah, absolutely.
You get carried away, but you have to be mature enough to just try it, take away the experience that you got, and get away from it. It's a bit like playing Russian roulette.
That's a good way of looking at it. I could tell your film has a very obvious drug influence in it. By the fact that you can see drug use in it, and certainly the film I'm making, although it isn't quite as in your face, I was on ecstasy or drunk for a good deal of the shooting.
Great.
I don't think I could. This is weird because I look back at the footage now and I like to edit sober. I can't really do it if I'm fucked up. But I look at the footage and I just think I'm a better camera operator when I'm really fucked up, which is maybe not the healthiest way to make films.
Oh yeah, yeah. You need to pick and choose what's right for you. Like, you shouldn't. I could never drive and be stoned.
No.
I couldn't do it, and people shouldn't do it. And you just have to have common sense to realize. I mean, it's a fucking dangerous situation. When it involves death, just don't do it.
Yeah, I think that's a good cut-off. I think, like, the worst thing that you could do if you were just really high making a film is make a bad film. Like, that's maybe the worst you could fuck up. Driving's a bit more serious.
Oh, yeah. Well, I do believe people can go out there and be creative while under.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
But, some of the greatest works of art have been that way, because what happens is you turn off, you just follow your own path, which I'm trying to get to the point in life where I can, where you can get high just by having a thought or hearing a song. like kind of like that, create that type of chemical reaction.
Yeah.
Art should be rebellious. Everyone should be rebellious, because otherwise we're just going to be a bunch of puppets. That's the only way you're going to change society, is to be rebellious. But you got to be smart about how you do it. Go out and stir things up, but be a maverick. But it's like you have to. I'm a bit of a loner when it comes to that. I think everyone's on a mission, aren't they?
Yeah, well, I think that's a good way to segue into the movement you're just trying to start, and I think it's a good idea, man. The Pink8 Manifesto. If you, again, maybe just want to kind of sum it up for people who don't know about it, I think it might sound better coming from you. Yeah,
well, I mean, the Pink8 Manifesto was for Black Biscuit. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to make everything under the Pink8 Manifesto, mm-hmm. but it's there, and if you get connected with it and try it, that's all it is. It's a different way to go about making a film, and to realize that you can make a film doing it this way. You can make a film with no money, on lo-fi equipment, and you can get it into film festivals, and it don't matter. I mean, it doesn't really matter so much about distribution anymore, because you can distribute a movie yourself. You can put it on YouTube and Vimeo and all that. Mm. You can go out there and create something different. That's my bottom line.
Well, I mean, because what I like about the manifesto, and again, I don't think I'm going to make another Pink8 film after Dimension Zero, because I'd like to just do something a bit different. For the next one.
I mean, it'd be boring. It'd be boring to do the same thing over and over again, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it's like if Lars von Trier only made Dogma films. It's just not. It wouldn't.
Oh yeah, completely. But it's great because Dogma's there, and it inspires you, and you can go out there and do something like that. Because I don't know, I think the Pink8 Manifesto is more out there than Dogma.
Definitely. What I think the difference is, and what I like about Pink8 is, it's really not restrictive over creativity. Like the rules that restrict things are like no HD, no 3D, no green screen. You need to fund it yourself. You need to get a get-by job that challenges you in some way. You have to play a part yourself. You have to edit it yourself. Those are the only restrictive rules. Everything creatively, other than after that, is up for grabs. Which Dogma was more like the director can't tell the camera operator what to do.
It's more fascist.
Yeah, exactly. And again, Lars von Trier is a self-proclaimed Nazi.
I do like his films, and I think I'd like him if I met him.
I like how much Lars von Trier pisses people, especially women. I love how much Lars von Trier pisses women off. Because this is the thing. All of his films feature lead female characters. He's obviously not a sexist. He obviously enjoys working with women.
Oh yeah, I mean, women are more powerful. They just are. They're more powerful. Obviously not physically, but mentally they are. You can learn a lot from women. Women have always helped me out. If you treat a woman right, she's an angel.
Yeah, totally.
And they will look after you. It's really strange how they work. Obviously, if you piss a woman off, she'll become the devil.
Yeah.
But they have a lot more to teach us than men. Men come from women. It's really bizarre. I don't know, like Lars von Trier. He wants to just piss people off, and I admire him for that.
Yeah, same here, man. Yeah.
Yeah, the world is easy to piss off, though, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. So would you say you don't have like any of that about you, like wanting to piss people off? Because I remember this one interview you did, and I liked it because it was so silly. You were like wearing a fur coat, and you were like proclaiming yourself the king of the underground and stuff like this.
I like to make people itch.
Yeah. And I was watching it. I just thought like this is exactly the kind of thing that makes people have the adverse reactions that they do to like avant-garde things and art cinema and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
And I screened the wee teaser I did for Dimension Zero at this film thing in Glasgow, and I could hear some people rolling their eyes if you know what I mean. Like I could.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, no, I'm glad of that. And then I wanted to like do I recently shot a thing with a nude model, which is supposed to be in Dimension Zero, but it's probably just going to be its own thing. And it's just like me asking her all these questions as she's doing these poses on a bed, and it's kind of like it's sort of like Andy Warhol-esque, and I'm like the camera I've got is certainly not a Pink8 camera. It's very, very good. And I'm like pulling I've got this lens on it. I'm pulling the focus and I'm turning the camera upside down and stuff. And it gets quite personal, and it's like 7 minutes long. And I just want to go and screen this just to watch people go, what have you done?
I'd like to see it. That's for sure. God, yeah. Just you just get out there and just show it. You shouldn't make films like that. Like I don't really like set out to piss people off. I just want to show something, and if it pisses some people off, that's kind of what happens. But I think they should be mature enough to kind of see, oh, maybe I feel about it this way now, but I don't know, in about a month I might change my mind about it. People react too easily these days. It's so easy to piss people off. Everyone's a critic, aren't they? Everyone's a critic. It doesn't even matter anymore what... You'll forget about it in about 10 minutes. It's like on to the next subject. It's just getting over that whole fear of what people have to say, because it doesn't matter anyway, and they're wrong in the first place.
I would like to hear Mark Kermode review Black Biscuit, though.
Oh, I think it'd be great. I think he's too much of a coward to review it.
Yeah, me too. Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't think he's got the balls to review underground cinema, because
there's no money in it.
He'll show his true colours, because all they do is they kind of like play the game. They don't want to look like fools. I mean, come on. I've read about some films that when they've come out, like for example, Citizen Kane. When Citizen Kane came out, it didn't do shit, and everybody said it was pretentious and all that type of crap. And now we're saying, oh, it's the best film ever. So. I think if the worse the review that the film gets, the better it is a lot of the times.
But that's happened with art throughout history. Like the composer Stravinsky, like most of his like concertos and stuff, when they were first performed, were just not received well, and now he's so well respected in classical circles, stuff like that.
Yeah, like Rite of Passage. Rite of Spring, what am I saying? Rite of Passage is a movie. Rite of Spring, a riot happened at that, and now it's considered a classic. And same thing for like Vertigo, like in the Last Sight and Sound, Vertigo's in there as a #1 film now. And when it came out, everyone's like, oh yeah, it was crap. And you were talking about Andy Warhol. Andy Warhol, he was given money, but he wasn't given respect when he first came out. And now everyone's like, oh, Warhol's created it, or he didn't create everything, but he just showed a different aspect of how you can go about making a movie. And to me, I think that's a true way of making it.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with that, man.
Roger Ebert be another fun person to review the
review it in his weird computer voice.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think God knows, like didn't he give Vincent Gallo like a really bad review for the Brown Bunny?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, oh yeah, he got it wrong that time.
Absolutely.
Every critic.
Yeah.
What was that?
So many people fucking hate that film. That's one of my favourite films of all time. I love that film.
Oh, same here. I think it's a beautiful film.
It's a masterpiece.
Yeah, it just showed how you've got all these people, all these critics pretending to know like how art and how film should be, and they're walking around with their noses up in the air, and then they show the true colours. A true classic comes out and they piss on it.
Yep.
A true classic comes out and they piss on it, and now they're all gonna run back in it in a few years and call it a classic and say they were wrong and all that type of stuff.
Absolutely, man. Well, I guess what I'd like ask you next is, do you ever question your confidence? Because you seem very, very self-assured and very confident.
I don't know. I don't try to analyze myself too much. I think that's, I don't know. It's how would I say? I just believe in what I do. I think if you find something that you believe in what I do, I mean, I've got self-doubt. Everybody has self-doubt, but if you believe strongly in something, believe strongly in it all the way, 100%. For anything, otherwise it's going to crumble.
That's fantastic advice. That's fantastic advice, man.
Yeah,
and they don't teach that in film school.
Sorry?
They don't teach that in film school.
Yeah, they don't. Honestly, don't go to film school.
No,
don't go to art school or anything involving art. Don't pay for it. You can do a lot better than a teacher. A teacher's, I don't know. I'm really skeptical about teachers. What the hell are they doing there in the first place? If they know what they're talking about. For Christ's sake.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree, man. So, well, we've talked about your films and stuff, and again, just anyone on YouTube, just YouTube Black Biscuit full movie is up for free. Why did you decide to put it up for free? Because I know you were holding on to it for a while, and you were putting it about festivals and stuff. Did you just think it was a better way to get people to see it?
Yeah, I thought it was about time I just showed it to people. After the whole film festival thing, you can show it to people, because that's one of the rules of when you go to film festivals is you can't throw it out there, because otherwise they don't show it, because they want it to be the premiere. Yeah, totally. That's just one of the things. But that's okay. I don't mind sitting on it for a bit, because now it's out there. And I almost get the feeling people think that I'm against everything. I'm not. I think life is really beautiful and dreamy and philosophical. Like, for example, I think music should be played on loudspeakers throughout towns, and there should be more beauty in life. I almost want there to be more of it out there. Or like the news. I don't want to see like bad news all the time. I mean, for example, attacks. Why should we hear about attacks? It's not going to change anything. But I just think there should be more positivity out there for people. People should be more positive. I do see a change in how society thinks now. I mean, there's been a bit of like a reboost in how you should be more like patriotic and things like that, which is great. Just be more positive. If you're negative, you ain't gonna go anywhere. You're not gonna go anywhere in life if you're negative. I am a very positive person. Otherwise I wouldn't have been able to complete the film. Yeah. I don't know. I guess I'm a Rain Man. Because
my ex-girlfriend I went out with a disabled girl for like 2 years, and actually taught me a lot about different things, even though disability doesn't feature that heavily in my work.
She showed you the way in a lot of ways.
So few films about disability are actually accurate to that experience, or are actually approach it in a respectful way. Like, as I said before about Precious, that kind of Hollywood, so I would say that's exploitation, that kind of just fake it. There was a film with Gary Oldman where Gary Oldman played a dwarf, and he like basically played it on his knees.
What?
Yeah, it's called Tiptoes. It was like, it only came out a couple of years ago, and like it was like people took a bad reaction to it, and the film company kind of tried to hide it.
Oh my God.
But this is the weird thing, they had other dwarf actors in the film.
But Gary Oldman's in it.
But Gary Oldman's playing the main dwarf, like on his knees, basically.
Oh Christ! I do like Gary Oldman there.
Oh definitely.
I do like Gary Oldman. I'll have to check that out.
It's called. I've not seen it. Apparently, it's like quite good for a comedic value, if nothing else.
Disability is a serious thing. I mean, I can walk a bit better, but I broke my foot about 2 months ago, and I can't run, but I can start walking again now. But I don't know. I've seen things a lot differently since I've been on crutches.
What crazy scenario did you get yourself into to fuck your foot up?
I fell out a tree.
What were you doing in a tree?
I wanted to try put in a video camera to a cat's head. Like those pet cameras.
All right, yeah, like a GoPro or something, like one of the.
Yeah, it went wrong.
Did you get the cat? Did you get it on his head?
No, I don't know where the hell the cat is or where the camera is, but I bet it's one hell of a movie.
Is that going to be in a film or?
Yeah, I was going to try it, but I don't know. I fell from the tree and I broke my foot, so I just.
I think a dog would be better than a cat. Cats are too squirmy.
I like cats though. I like how independent cats are and how they go off and they just do their own thing. I don't know. I guess if I was going to pick an animal, I guess I'm very much like a cat. Like a cat on like Halloween at night time, just roaming the streets at night. I just think they get into great adventures. Cats do.
Yeah.
I might get have you got a cat? You got a trained cat?
I've not got. I've got a cat. I've got a disabled cat actually. He got hit by a car like about 10 years ago. He's quite old and he survived, but he breathes weird. You can hear him coming down the hall, like he breathes like that.
He's possessed.
He's a possessed cat. He freaks me out in the night, man. I hear him go by the hall and shit. Yeah.
Cats are trippy. I prefer cats to dogs. I used to have a snake. I had it for a little while. It was like a little milk snake, and it was lovely. I came home one day and it was gone. I don't know what happened to it.
It just disappeared.
Yeah, it just disappeared. I'd like to have a piranha as well one day.
Piranha. Just one, just not like a tank of piranhas, like a Bond villain.
Yeah, I don't know, just like one, or like a rumblefish, something like that.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool. That'd be cool for when you take over the world, just have just like deadly animals as pets.
Yeah, I don't know, I just get along with them.
Yeah. Cool. Well, I mean, I think we've covered the film, and maybe talk a little bit about your music, because you're in a band called Mau, is that right? Or is it just you?
Mau?
Yeah.
That's what I'm working on at the moment. I used to be in a band called Monix. Chris, my friend Chris Brown, he was the singer, and he's doing a different engine at the moment. And my thing's called Mau, and I do the music with some of these guys out in Austin, Texas.
All right, cool.
And one of them's in jail at the moment, so I'm just waiting for him to get out.
What's he in jail for?
You know what? I can't get a straight answer out of him, so fucking hell, whatever it is. I don't know what the hell's going on with him, but I haven't spoken to him in a while. But it's going all right. I've got like an album's worth, so I'll get that out there eventually.
Sweet, yeah. I heard a couple of the tunes, man. It's quite like sort of psychedelic, kind of punky, like lo-fi. It's difficult to describe. I kind of like your films. It's quite difficult to describe.
Yeah, I don't know. I've always loved psychedelic music and, like Syd Barrett music.
Yeah.
Syd Barrett's fantastic, and I love punk. I love Sex Pistols. I think the Sex Pistols are phenomenal. I like a lot of original punk. I don't know. I haven't really heard any good new punk music, but I like Woo Life. I like Waves.
Have you ever checked out a band called The Boredoms?
The Boredoms?
Yeah.
Are they like a new band?
They've been around, I think, since like the early 90s. They're a Japanese punk band, and their shit.
Check them out.
The shit is weird as fuck. Like some of it's just standard punk fare, but some of it's like mad like synth chords and the vocalist just at the back of the room screaming, and it's really, really good shit. They did the soundtrack for the film Itchy the Killer. Oh, really? Yeah. It's a guy in a brilliant soundtrack.
Yeah. Okay, I know you're talking about now.
Aye. They're probably one of my favourite. I love that film, man. I fucking love that film.
But have you listened to the Horrors? I like the Horrors as well. And the Doors.
I've not listened to them that much. No, I've heard a wee bit of bits and pieces. I'm punk music. I only started really getting into like in the last year or something. I started like listening to Bad Brains and stuff. I'm mostly into hip hop, man. That's kind of what I was, not what I was raised on, but that's the first kind of music that I chose. I love hip hop. Oh yeah, I love hip hop too. I used to DJ hip hop. Aye. Well, I mean, I'm a rapper. And I make like beats as well. So.
Oh, cool. Let's see. I like De La Soul a lot.
Yeah, man.
De La Soul, I don't know, Biggie. I think Biggie's, probably like my favourite rapper.
Yeah, Biggie's good.
I don't know. I've done a bit of rapping myself with the NSC. They're called the New Suburban Crackers.
Okay. Is that like a sort of Derby's answer to Goldie Looking Chain?
Oh yeah. It's like Yeah, it's a bit like that actually. Like we love rap, but we're not rappers. You know, it's not like I never practice rap, but
Right.
I can like write some rhymes or like improvise a bit. But I'm not a natural rapper. But I love the fact how they can communicate.
Yeah, totally. It's a lot of fun, man. It's I'm actually this weekend, although this is probably going to go up in like a few weeks' time, so it'll be past. So I might have lost. I'm doing like a battle tournament thing. It's it's like £100 on the line. There's like 16 MCs or something, and I don't even care about winning. I just want to like take the piss.
Yeah, you just want to be a part of it.
Yeah.
Oh, let me know how it goes.
I will do, man. It's fucking.
Yeah, it'll take a lot of balls to do stuff like that. I don't think I'd be able to do like a freestyle rap battle on stage.
Yeah, I've done a couple. I've done a few, man. I got in trouble. I brought up this. I don't even know if I should say his name on the podcast because he got a bit angry with me. But this guy I was battling, he's quite well respected in Scotland as a battler, and I was dying, man. I just got thrown into the deep end. I was fucking dying, and I just brought up this stuff that I knew about him, like he owed some people some money, and
Well, he couldn't take that. God, yeah, he can dish it out, but he can't take it.
But this is it. Like I thought he was cool with it, and then like a year after it happened, he came up to me and he goes, "Yo, I really didn't appreciate that, man. I thought that was a bit too personal." I was like, "I'm sorry." I thought we were battling. Like, well, but it's cool. No, we squashed the beef. He's a sound guy. He's a really talented guy.
Yeah.
It's
You
cool.
gotta, I don't know. You gotta be a bit open about stuff like that when you're doing, when you're doing rap battles. You gotta be able to take it.
Yeah, absolutely. He's a very good battler as well. He's had a lot of experience, but I think it's just personal stuff. This is the thing. Like, had a long conversation about this with a couple of other rappers. I did a podcast with them, and like it's a bit of a controversial thing, bringing up personal things on people. Some people just like doing a rap battle just better be nothing but mum jokes, you know.
Yeah, well, it's up to them. I mean, they can either like blow it off, or it's a funny thing when you take things personally.
Again, we've all done things we're not proud of, you know. I don't pass judgment on anybody.
Oh yeah. It's a funny thing, emotional intelligence, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Aye. So I mean, this has been a good chat, man. We've been chatting for about an hour, so.
Really? Oh,
yeah.
It just flew by.
Yeah, totally. I just looked up at the recorder there. It's just like 57 minutes. It's pretty cool.
Okay,
so,
just put the whole interview out, 57 minutes, God.
Yeah, totally. Well, this is
it's
what
more like an interest, but I don't know. I almost see interviews are an art form in a way, aren't they? I mean, this has been a way better conversation than just me like telling you what my favourite colour is and stuff like that.
Totally. This is what I wanted to do with the podcast, because all my podcasts are like an hour long or something, and I wanted to get like creative people that I knew, or just interesting people that I knew in, and just speak to them kind of conversationally and just see what happens. And I think it's a lot better than the standard interview format of I ask a question, you respond.
Yeah, you're very good at it.
Oh, thank you very much, man. Thank you.
It's very natural the way it flows.
Thank you. Well, Fabrizio Federico, what's your website, YouTube? Where should people go to find your work?
Just the websites. You can find me. Just type in Black Biscuit. Website will come up, or if you type in Black Biscuit full movie on YouTube, you can watch it on YouTube if they don't take it down again.
Yeah, for anyone who does watch it and it's edited, they took down a scene. I think I actually described it to someone on a previous podcast I did, and she was like covering her face, like, "Oh, why did this person do this? Why?"
Because that happens.
Yeah. Well, not everybody likes Marmite, and not everybody likes to have candles put up their urethra.
People should just close their eyes. Just close your eyes and edit it like that. Don't watch it. Why are you watching it if you don't like it?
Yeah, totally.
You should have closed your eyes.
Turn away. Black Biscuit, just full movie on YouTube. So Pink8 Manifesto got a website? I can't remember anymore.
Sorry?
Has the Pink8 Manifesto got a website? I can't remember.
It's on the Black Biscuit website and on my website. It's there somewhere. It's there. Just type in Pink8 Manifesto. It'll come up on Google.
And are you doing any live screenings of Black Biscuit anytime soon?
I'm trying to get a tour organised. I want to show it in like random places. I want to show it in prisons, and I want to show it in like mental health institutions and homeless shelters.
Right.
It's proven a lot more difficult than I thought it would, actually.
Yeah. No, it's, perhaps unsurprisingly, people like that are quite protective of things.
Yeah, but I'm going to still keep trying it. I think it's funny either way.
Yeah, totally. Well, I mean, if I'd happily curate a screening of it in Glasgow. I know a couple of places it could be shown. Maybe not like mental health institutions, but there's probably a couple of interesting venues that could show it.
Yeah, sure thing.
I just want people to see it, man. It's a great film, and I like spread. If somebody I know or somebody I don't know makes something good, I always want to like put it out there and promote it.
Oh, cheers. Have you got a copy still?
I've not got a physical copy. No, I downloaded it off of YouTube just in case they took it down again.
Oh no. Can you email me your address and I'll send you a copy?
All right, mate. Yeah, that's fantastic, man. Thanks.
Yeah.
Cool.
No, you're good people.
You're good people as well. This podcast was brought to you by Volition-Scotland, volition-scotland.org. Information spreads, you can't stop that. Once the door's open, you can't lock that. So disregard everything you've been taught, lad. What if kids in schools were encouraged to talk back? I guess we'd be in a different time where ideas were passed around like wine. What would you find? A new way've been done, a Bukowski vision. Look no further than the mind if you want to find a prison. So let's create something brand new, with brand with no branding, for a market with no damn clue. Whether throwing paint at an easel or beating the rhythm to dance to, today's the best place to start, dude. Cause it's hard to define who you are in a world that only looks at what you can't do. Fuck it, be who you are and stand true, and mock all these other cliches that I will grant you. So kick back, get a spliff wrapped as I have a chin wag with some sick cats. Hopefully you find some inspiration in this chit chat. Either that or just laugh, turn your interest elsewhere. I will tell you how to act. We're the last of the iconoclasts. No mean podcast.